those woven connections of thought that his spirit made, was something that he was familiar with. But that day he was scared of the way his heart beat different in his chest.
You can climb out of this moraine anytime, anywhere, at any point within this swirling widget infinity that gurgles red and orange like a lava lamp. Pretend it's still 1969 and the shag carpet hasn't inhaled every loose phone number or dust particle or fragment of body hair, and the phone still quivers around the dial. What could you have done to sway your joints off that path, the one that led you inevitably into the arms of a stranger who became your wife, who left you for a stranger that became your ex-wife's second husband?
She was different from the rest, and he did not understand. He struggled, of course, with understanding. Understanding brought pain. The threads. What did she mean?
You can't quite shrug the feeling that there's some ultimate whisper secreted in the exact center of your brain, and if you could peel your scalp off and press the right button, it would all make sense, like a sigh at times when you could belch like an ape at nothing and yawn like a lion at peace with command of the food chain.
As he searched his table of contents, the memories of those woven threads brought back tears. So many beautiful woven fabrics of her expressions of love had been placed around him, but like the king that wore no clothes, he could not see.
You never asked for anything that great, only that you could take a step forward each day and rise with the sun and maybe yowl at the moon for its own sake. Now your yowls chime like a marimba ringing G-flat over the course of thoughts that scavenge years at a time in an instant. A single meaningful idea that breaks the routine of meal, unmasks the new flavor of latte for what it really is. The twang of regret when the coffee loses its savor amidst a swathing of saliva, the only flavor left, and you spit it out.
He was struggling with the weight of his heart and soul iced. Why was he always laying his soul bare, naked to the cold world? He knew he did not search out those paths. He was on the feet of his heart, just found him there. And his heart always knew. Knew before his mind, knew where it was going, and it was a mind of its own. He stopped back to look at his heart's mind, and he saw the threads. And he saw her face in his heart's mind's eye. And he finally cried over her loss.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The primeval Armstrong. Forest of 1,000 years, where ancient roots welter a moss-grown undercarriage on which travel the barefoot souls of native peoples. Aeons and aeons of them who, as the story goes, would not sojourn night-long under the sky-scraping canopy of redwood. The giant trees would unlatch your soul to drift up and over the tender peaks and new growth, up and over a blanket of witching hour fog and out to dissipate into a kaleidoscope of stardust.
Human beings just being, just seeing infinity, the cosmic grid. Reference for all that is and there will ever be.
A labyrinth of trails now winds a closed circuit around campsites, picnic tables, and an outdoor theater where I recited Eliot to an audience of 3. We are the hollow men, the stuffed men, 4 of us young men who still believe the secrets of life could be pried open with a crowbar.
The secret's now reserved for the generation that will again understand.
I like to say an hour later, but what did time mean then except the warbling gradient of shadow or the follicle-thin mosquitoes thrumming their plaintive harp hums under the moist crevices of chin and earlobe? We scaled a felled redwood, rubber foot soles gripping the hypotenuse, trespassing positively over a hillside and out into a field of vetch. The purple blooms grasped on green tendrils and the droning louder. A chorus of bees, 10,000, the entire world resting on that vibration. So I pull a blues harp from my shirt pocket, exhale a low C chord, and the bees heard, and wanting us to know they were listening, matched that chord perfectly hum to hum, and the wind cleansed the words from our experience with bristles of time and ecstasy.
The bliss is shared with sentient beings that expose their spirits to the primal forces of this great creation. The way spotted owl sits in the old growth tree. Do you see the tear in its eye? When do we stop robbing the homes of our ancestors? The wolf's howl tries to reach into our souls, stirring our memories. Awaken, sapiens! Identify intuition. Can we keep what gifts we have left? Dismantle the machine-like thought patterns. Listen for the cry of the wild. Set your bare feet to the bare earth. Bare your heart. Listen to the bear. It's not a privilege to exterminate. Extinguish extinction now. Look to the tear in our children's eye. Like the owl, we need to relieve their anguish, make amends to our plundering and raping. Peace lies in the earth. Ground to the ground. Touch the dirt. Let go of the blame. Let's play fair. There is no us and them. You know it's all we. One. Just one. Receive the knowledge inside you that has been there all along, waiting with the patience of all the greatest hunters of truth. We can't make sense out of the chaos of mystery, but we can find the love of life in the mystery of chaos. Look to the tear in your eye. We're going to do one more stanza for stanza, and then we're going to do a little improv after that, and then we're going to call it a night. Thanks very much for showing up and listening. Stylized schemes, manufactured dreams, seagulls wrapped in cellophane, feeling no pain.
You can always doubt the depths of your own laughter, but remember, you've chosen this manifestation. You can bark canine blues at the angry, ride streaks of lightning into the demon's maw through glistening fangs of rage down writhing serpentine tongues brandishing your fists of triumph. But let me dispel all myths here.
fashion our passion into special boxes, and the hounds chase the foxes.
Yes, you will bear the loins of love's gasping agony. Yes, doubt may devour your heart's warbling belly, but remember, if you desire like me to unveil the mask behind the face,
keep this dream alive as we send out silent drones from hell.
Some may claim to know unerringly the rhythm of gravity's rainbow. Some may say that time is melting. Some may even have seen me, the white lotus phoenix writhing luminescent wings.
Knowing the rules of the game can change, we rearrange the players in secret time.
I will bring Rangarok to your doorstep, pierce through confinement's lurid leer of laughter, claw the song's edge of climax into your black granite pillar of being.
As the illusion of control dominates the masses, let's raise our glasses and toast democracy.
And the rose of rainbow eye space will erupt to bear into the light soft whispers of eternal knowing, so you never have to choose which moon to pray to.
And if justice is the end to all that means, then we will have to stifle our screams. Stylized schemes, manufactured dreams, seagulls wrapped in cellophane, feeling no pain.
Feeling no pain! Is that true?
Alright, we're going to finish this with one more poem, and then we're going to have Mr. Stephen Blue come up and do some poetry, and then we're going to have some of the young poets help finish the night out as well. And we're going to stay with this thing like we only got one environment, folks. You're sitting on it. Carbon beings leaving carbon footprints, romancing technology, nature adjusted to suit, constant hum of the progress machines. If we can watch everything closely enough, maybe we can secure the fear of losing. Eyes in the sky, eyes in the back of our heads, grabbing the lion's share, but forgetting to pull the thorn from its paw. When our needs become greeds, there are those who will go without what could be theirs. The change that is sure to arrive will have to include that our children survive. Carbon beings leaving carbon footprints. Thanks, folks.
Phil Crowe and Michael Hess. Let's give it up again for them. The Young Poets of Eugene. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to try a little impromptu thing here. Andrew on drums, Phil on drums, Michael on flute, and I'm just going to read, and we're going to see how it goes.
Sorry, guys. I'm walking.
This has got a little bit of a 60s theme, because that's where I'm from. flowers, long hair, and bell-bottoms of you. Now only a faded view, left forgotten in the memories of new wars, new scores, new reasons to be afraid. By the many, the masses, no longer aware how it could have been had we just not given in to the many-numbered royalties of the commercialism cash cow, the callous concern of corporate bottom lining, until we're all scared for our jobs, no longer able to see the possibility that was at our fingertips. If only we could have held on a little longer, persevered a little stronger, not been in such a drug-induced haze. Oh, the ways of the world, the wonder now gone, replaced by hunger, the mad plans of melancholy mentioned in passing, the last seen signals of the 60s. Do you remember when peace, love, and brotherhood were the current topics of discourse? Do you remember when government regulation was strong enough that air pollution standards created cleaner air, and the big banks and Wall Street operated with public scrutiny? Do you remember when aerosol cans started disappearing from store shelves, replaced by pump sprays? Do you remember why? Do you remember truth in advertising? Do you remember the fairness doctrine, when opposing political views had equal airtime by law? Do you remember when telephone companies, public utilities, television, media, airlines, health insurance, and banks were not mega monopoly corporations, and monopolies were broken up by our government? Do you remember when the Supreme Court was fair and balanced, and politicians of opposing parties actually worked together? Do you remember when big money didn't buy up all of government? Do you remember when public education was important, reliable, affordable, and funded? Do you remember when teachers, firemen, and police officers were important jobs, with public support for fair wages and benefits? Do you remember when the average American family could afford a house, a car, and a college education for their children? Do you remember make love, not war? The 1960s was a paradigm shift, at least a brief moment of truth, a glimpse of the golden age, the future that could be if peace, love, and brotherhood really reigned in the world. In the 60s, we saw the evolution of the human spirit was possible. We saw that living in harmony with our fellow man and Mother Nature was doable. But when you look around now, it appears like we have forgotten all of that. I fight for what is not left. I fight for what went long ago. The smiling faces, flowers, long hair, and bell-bottoms of you. Thank you all very much. We're having fun up here doing poetry, as you can tell. I'm going to welcome again some of our other young poets of Eugene. Who do we have ready? Porcupine or James? You guys got something? Who's ready? You ready? You ready, Karen? All right, please welcome Karen to the stage.
sing right tonight, glistening like a faceted tear. I am standing in awe of its nakedness. I am aware of something incomparable to myself or any living deity that I can imagine. It is a universe unseen and naked like, how can I compare myself to you, I say. You are the light, you are my imagination, you are the love that exists beyond my boundaries. I can touch you, I can see you, and in the bottom of my belly, there's a longing that I cannot explain. Somewhere in the burrowed regions where I sit, I speak to myself and I say, I am not alone. My heart is like Carlsbad Cavern, untouched, a virgin of the earth. That is what I see within me. I see the depths and the seas within that cavern, ancient, like the dirt below my feet. They are the seas of change that only this cave knows of. The sea without the tears, the joy amidst the waves that glide against my skin. And I feel as if I were pregnant with a life unborn, a life untouched by reality that you disperse, also dispense with words and so many meanings that I don't understand. I go deep, deep within that belly. The ovaries of the earth will never dry. They're the ones that give birth to volcanoes. And I too am a volcano. Dormant, sleeping, perhaps unaware. But I am. Inside of me is fire. The desire of my race, the Homo sapiens, the creators of the world around me. I am a creator of truth within myself. Therefore, I ignite the world and the night. I breathe fire, and the earth trembles within me. Like orgasms against the sky, deep within my belly, I arise. Patient, purposeful, playful. My earth, your earth, our earth is one. One of many planets unknown to the worlds beyond. And it is all but the clay between my toes and the mud that
Karen improvises her poetry right on the spot. She makes it up. So let's give it up again for Karen. Awesome, awesome, Karen. So James is going to entertain us with some of his unique brand of poetry.
I don't know if the drums
I know you're not. It's not the drum.
Or if you're going to drum. I'm thinking something nice.
There's no such thing as.
All right. Enough already. I've added up to your armpits with this unwholesome drama. Your wife wants to be a singer. She goes all the way to the end of the audition line. Makes it on American Idol. And the news in the same day. She became both an international treasure and a terrorist. Your brother is holding a ketchup factory hostage because he hates ketchup. In fact, he organized a militia to take down all the ketchup factories, eliminating the problem on an international level. Meanwhile, your wife is demanding that everybody in America stay tuned, or else. This has gone too far. Ketchup isn't my enemy. American Idol should be canceled. And the news is going crazy. Journalists from magazines like Mayonnaise Quarterly are knocking on my door, taking pictures of my fridge. The Washington Post swears that I am pro-horseradish and have joined the anti-ketchup insurrection Boy Scouts. Nonsense. It's a mess. Good Lord! Your wife is going mad. She demands that the stars from The Last Comic Standing and Jersey Shore try to captivate the world better than she does. They can bring laser batons and baseball hats. Otherwise, it's an unfair joke. SWAT teams are eyeballing me, watching this madness, locking my door. Then the government bans curtains and nice pants. This is not what Oscar Mayer would have wanted. My brother has tainted all ketchup going anywhere. The Mayonnaise Quarterly people are scared they might be called communists because of the Dutch. Come on now, people. These are just condiments. It's just TV. Who cares? Can everybody just please march back into something that makes sense? What about the president of Kraft? He's crying himself to sleep right now. Oh, this is bullshit. Just come home. But you can't. You're in too deep. Waiting around the vats of fresh mustard. Wide awake with the new belief that it is holy. Painting you and all your comrades' skin yellow to dark Dijon brown. The war on condiments has begun. They're rounding people up. They're confiscating barbecues. This is a mess. Granola is being dropped on all major cities, along with other stale cereals. The entire country is frightened. All the members of Survivor are going back to their island sets and trying to remember what they learned. Every former American Idol is being put on a safety list, with armed Michael Jackson bots protecting their houses. The future is so fucked. I will just load a Thanksgiving turkey with Smarties and dummy chickens. Then I will mail it to Trolley. They will know what to do about this. I will as well put protective baloney on all my windows and doors. This will keep the Associated Press out of my hair. Finally, I will wrap candy wrappers on my TV, cut the cord, and just make sure it never turns on again. Then I will send a letter written in pure Canadian maple syrup to my brother before the fuzz takes him and his followers down. That will be my destroying angel hair pasta deity of peace. Yeah!
Alright, this next one is based off a dream I had right before I got my first tattoo. Gotta get to work. It's pretty normal at first for a tattoo shop. Well, at least I think it's normal to have one in a church with bags of chips hanging from the ceiling. But why are there cages full of chickens? For that matter, how did they get loose? Isn't someone in the shop going to take care of that? Well, it turns out that crazy old
Carolyn is bringing the bologna for lunch. That shit is spilling everywhere, and those chickens are going nuts, picking the stuff off the ground. Meanwhile, today I am put on jumperoo duty, where it is that I work in the water park behind the store, while all these beautiful ladies tell me that Mr. Defoe, as in William Defoe, is coming, and he might try to ski into the shop unnoticed. Back to the jumperoo. As it turns out, to do that job, you have to make, Are you killing me? Oh, man, see, that's lame. First I come up unprepared.
Well, everybody did one, and you did two. So Porcupine's got it. The band's about to start.
No, it's okay. I understand. It was diarrhea. Sorry, everyone.
It's all right.
Sorry for the diarrhea.
No, that wasn't diarrhea. Another hand for James's awesome, unique poetry.
No, it's okay. Next time I'll just next time
And-
it'll be more intense. Just make sure you wear protective tarps.
We have time for Porcupine to do one, I think, before the band starts. So please welcome Porcupine.
Yeah!
I dream our candles flicker and die so that our hearts won't burn to the ground. And then I think of my childhood house, and me as a child, and where I was, and I'm proud of these ashes that I see. But then I think of those who blow out candles of others, and then relight them, or then just light candles for everyone they see. And I think, what are you really doing? Are you helping, or are you just causing chaos and darkness? And then I think of the people who aren't burning at all, and who never will burn. And then I think, if you're not burning, you're still dying. And that's the one thing we're always afraid of, isn't it? And so that puts a little bit of fear in me. And I try to light other candles for everyone else. Now a joke.
Woo! Yeah!
Man sleeps and finds a riddle to beauty within himself, but awakens to nature, unknown to him, but a house of God. Curiosity gets the best of him. Man is relieved to find it is abandoned. The writing read, nothing unseen before, no attic or stairs or elevator, empty rooms and empty walls, but a basement. In the back, tucked away, the dark scares man, but curiosity gets the best of him again. Under a cloth, a mirror, a television, reflection. Man overwhelmed, reality becomes lucid, indeed like himself. Man steps into himself and steps out again in discomfort. Sound, noise, not of man, but of God. God has returned. Man looked back and saw what he had become. A shaved leg, scarred face, donkey dick, blood-covered she-male. Man so shocked with himself and the change so quick, he became fear. Man stumbled further into darkness, and God came for him. Man came for him. Man's only mistake, praying to God in the first place.
Thank you.
All right, well, they haven't started yet, so we got a minute or two. Andrew, you got something?
Sure.
All right. So you might be playing right into the band, so
Go for
just so you know that. Go for it.
I'm gonna finish this.
Go ahead, man. So I just wrote this on a bench in between sets, so I haven't really gotten the chance to look at it yet. But here it is. On wishing and accepting. The thoughts, damning thinking just won't stop coming. They're taking me hostage and massaging my ego. I try to escape, but the barrage of mirages floods my vision like wishes in a sky of raining shooting stars never fulfilled. So I learned to stop wishing. Like a car in a garage, sitting and waiting to be driven unto destinies by ghosts of myself unknowing. Where they're taking this body, all these passengers begging to visit this or that scenery, only able to see the back of the head of the one in the front seat. Who is it? Is it mommy? Is it daddy? Is it that one thing that happened to me that's turning us down this street? And will we have to turn around to get oil changes and tune-ups while this mortality of it all keeps saying, are we there yet? Is this a dead end we're going on, and how long until I finally get to relieve myself in the arms of someone who shares a same fate and will keep company these thoughts wherever they take us? Some women want certainty, but guys like me don't like taking or asking for directions. We freewheel and step on it when the road looks long and scare the shit out of the children left in us, and how fast we're screeching away from home, and slow where the neighborhoods are nice, and we can admire the houses, but I don't want them. I just want wind blowing through my hair in acceleration, trying to locate the balance between the feelings I get when sprinting, kissing, and doing meditation. That will tie it all together into one coherent map of my numinous anatomy. But that's just another wish that nags at me, and really I think this is everybody, whether monk or nun or man or woman or working poor or working or not working, rich or homeless or poet or psychic or religionist, or however you or I might identify ourselves to passers-by on a highway that gives us way too many choices. We're tinkering for which way drives best, alternating between seeking wish fulfillment, all these stars shooting, trying to choose the brightest one, knowing that one wish may give the greatest happiness, or just might turn around and kill us.
Thank you all for listening to the Young Poets of Eugene tonight. Please join us tomorrow. We'll be starting at 11:30 or maybe 11 o'clock, something like that. And we'll be going all day again. So thank you all for listening to us, and have a good evening.
That's one thing I've always said that school is really all that stuff. I'm going
Couldn't exactly sell my books out here, could I?